talking about. Money owns this town.
After the Civil War, America would see great prosperity. America would become the leading country in industry by 1900. Men like John D. Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, Andrew Carnegie, and Cornelius Vanderbilt would be the immediate cause of this. John D. Rockefeller, founder of the Standard Oil Company, came from a poor background. Rockefeller spent every Sunday in church. It would be from his pastor that he would be encouraged to make as much money as he could and give away as much as he could. Rockefeller began searching for the right opportunity. He found this opportunity in oil. Many men had struck oil and were becoming rich. The uncontrollable outcome of drilling for oil offended Rockefeller. Rockefeller saw that striking oil was not a promise. Refining, he thought, would be the answer. Rockefeller opened a refinery in Cleveland, Ohio. He would name this refinery the Standard Oil Company. With the advancement of his company, Rockefeller gained much influence over the kerosene lamp, or as Rockefeller called it, the poor man's light. Because of this, work could be accomplished even when the sun went down. Rockefeller would do anything to beat his competitors. Rockefeller would gain a bad look from the public eye. Ida Tarbell wouldn't make this any better when she wrote The History of the Standard Oil Company. This is a taping of John D. Rockefeller's wife, Laura Rockefeller, and her reaction to the bold accusations made by Ida Tarbell in her book, The History of the Standard Oil Company.
I can't believe someone would say those things about my husband. He is a good Christian man. No one complained when he brought light into every home or when he created bipartisan jobs. Do not believe anything Ms. Tarbell has to say about my husband.
Rockefeller died May 23, 1937 with a net worth of $340 billion. J.P. Morgan was born into a rich family of distinguished businessmen. J.P. Morgan followed the footsteps of his father. He began to dominate corporate finance and industrial consolidation during the 19th century. Morgan financed railroads and helped organize the U.S. Steel, General Electric, and other major corporations. In 1871, J.P. Morgan formed an alliance with fellow banker Anthony Drexel, and in 1895 took over their firm and named it J.P. Morgan and Company. Morgan was involved in reorganizing and consolidating financially troubled railroads. In the process, he gained control of approximately 1/6 of America's railroad lines. During the depths of the Panic of 1890, America looked towards J.P. Morgan to solve their problems. J.P. Morgan consolidated many companies, and in return he gained control of most of them. People coined the term remorganization. Also, in order to save the gold standard, J.P. Morgan gave money to the United States Treasury. In 1901, Carnegie sold Carnegie Steel to J.P. Morgan. He sold it for $480 million, or in today's money, $13.6 billion. This made the newly named U.S. Steel the first billion-dollar company. J.P. Morgan's life was going uphill until the death of his wife. After his wife died, he began collecting art. J.P. Morgan passed away March 31, 1913 at the age of 75. This is the only time that the stock market closed for anyone else's death but the president. The stock market closed for a total of 2 hours as J.P. Morgan's body passed through New York. Andrew Carnegie was born in Scotland. Carnegie had little schooling but loved books and learning. At the age of 13, Carnegie came to the United States, where he became a prodigy of Thomas Scott. Through this experience, Carnegie learned about the railroad industry, and other businesses. Carnegie became one of the wealthiest businessmen in America. Carnegie invested in the steel industry, and he created his business, Carnegie Steel. For every step of the steel production process, Carnegie owned every aspect of production. This is vertical integration. Carnegie revolutionized steel production by introducing the Bessemer process to the United States. By 1889, Carnegie Steel Corporation was the largest of its kind in the world. Although Carnegie Steel had great success, it would endure public scrutiny for its abuse of the working man. In 1892, while Carnegie took a trip to Scotland and left Henry Frick in charge, a massive strike broke out at Carnegie Steel. The Homestead Strike of 1892 was provoked when Carnegie Steel cut the wages of the workers. The workers refused to work. Henry Frick called the guard to break up the union. The conflict turned violent, and even though Carnegie was away, he took the blame for Henry Frick's actions. In 1900, Carnegie wrote Wealth, where he stated that the rich had their riches so that they could help the poor. In 1901, Carnegie sold Carnegie Steel to J.P. Morgan. At the age of 65, Carnegie decided to spend the rest of his days donating money to help others. Cornelius Vanderbilt was born May 27, 1794 in Staten Island, New York. At the age of 16, Cornelius Vanderbilt bought his first ferry. He started a passenger ferry business that traveled between Staten Island and New York City. In the late 1820s, he became one of the country's largest steamship operators. In the process, he gained the nickname the Commodore. After the Civil War, Vanderbilt began investing in the railroad industry. Vanderbilt gained control of many railroad lines operating between Chicago and New York. To gain control of these railroad lines, Vanderbilt would buy out stock. A man by the name of Jay Gould saw what Vanderbilt was doing. He began watering down stock. This is highly illegal today. It put Vanderbilt out for hundreds of thousands of dollars. In response to his loss, Vanderbilt said, "You have undertaken to cheat me. I won't sue you, for the law is too slow. I'll ruin you." Vanderbilt declared war against anyone who challenged him. He even went as far as to close down the Albany Bridge to beat his competitors. Vanderbilt beat out many of his competitors in what people would call ruthless means of business. Vanderbilt, being as wealthy as he was, lived an extravagant life. Even after his passing, Vanderbilt's wealth would go a long way with the construction of the Biltmore Estate. The Biltmore Estate is the largest privately owned house in the United States. Vanderbilt died January 4, 1877 with a net worth of $185 billion.